What's going on, YouTube? This is your boy Lou coming back at you again. You know what it is. This particular video right here is going to be a Daniel Bryan video, as it's titled, and basically my thoughts on Daniel Bryan as a whole. I spoke about Daniel Bryan here and there in a couple of my more recent videos, but in this particular video right here, I'm going to really go in depth with Daniel Bryan. I'm not going to speak about Bryan Danielson, the indie wrestler that is now Daniel Bryan. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, his past has nothing to do with where he is right now in terms of, his position, because if it had anything to do with his past, he would be like the #1 guy in WWE right now, and he's obviously not. And there's a lot of people that are not getting behind Daniel Bryan. They're really not into him, and for reasons I understand. Believe me, I do. So I just want to basically break down Daniel Bryan in this video. I'm gonna nitpick at him, give him his pros, give him his cons, and just try to put together a census of why the WWE has booked him so poorly. Alright, now this problem really stems back all the way to NXT, because in NXT Season 1, which is the only season I actually watched, he didn't win. He ended up coming back, being in the, WWE versus Nexus tag match. He ended up being the one of the members of Team WWE when The Miz couldn't make up his mind. He said at the last minute he would, but John Cena said they already found a replacement. Ended up being Daniel Bryan. From that point forward, I really thought the way they brought him in and how strong he looked in the match, I really thought that they were going to give him that solid push. And they gave him the United States Championship, but then threw him that stupid love triangle with the Bella Twins and Gail Kim and all this shit. Eventually, he loses the U.S. Championship, and he's in just this drift of nothing. He's just floating in nothing. And consistently, he'll have matches on Superstars or these house shows, but you never see him on live TV. And when you did see him on live TV, all he did was lose. So when it came time for Money in the Bank, honestly, in my eyes, he was going to win before I even seen the match, just because he was the most least likely guy to win. And that's what WWE likes to do a lot with the Money in the Bank. The guy you don't expect to win, the guy that deserves it the least in terms of his accomplishments in WWE due to the way WWE has booked him, normally is the guy that wins. Hence, like Jack Swagger. I'm just saying. That's the way Money in the Bank traditionally has been used. Look at Edge. Okay, Edge was a tag team champion. He became the WWE champion the first time because he beat John Cena after Elimination Chamber by cashing it in after the Chamber match was over. Never been the champion before. They were just testing water. Now with him, they actually pushed on. He had a good future. With the Jack Swagger type thing, we didn't. And with Daniel Bryan, that might be the same case, because when they gave him Money in the Bank, he had no build. Seen that one coming. But anything after that, just him continuously losing, not getting character progression whatsoever, to the point where he actually won the belt. And he won the belt in such a lousy fashion. This has got to be the worst cash-in of Money in the Bank of all time. It has to be. Because you had the Big Show win the belt, Mark Henry puts him out, and then you have Daniel Bryan just come in and cover the Big Show. So that wasn't really much of a victory as far as I'm concerned. At least with Edge, at least John Cena was actually standing up at one point. I don't know. This just seemed to be a pathetic way to give him the belt. After all the hype he said about winning at WrestleMania, he was going to win legitimately. He wasn't going to do any stupid cheating / shit. And then he does this. It was stupid. And that kind of killed whatever buzz he had as a face. So I think at that point it would be hard for anybody to really buy into him. And even at this point, at least at that point then, I should say, I still wasn't buying into the fact that he was champion, even though I liked it. I liked the fact that he's champion. The heel turn that they're showing is late. And this heel turn probably should have happened a while ago, and that probably would have helped with his build up a little bit, because obviously they couldn't work him as a face. They didn't figure out that he would play a better heel role, and now they're slowly progressing him into that heel role. So he transitions over from being a face to a heel, and he gets more of a reaction as a heel right now, so I think that's definitely a bonus with WWE. But once again, I think it's a little too late. He's already got the belt. So unless this works and people get into him now, WWE's going to drop the ball with him, and he's going to end up in a drift and end up being jobbed out till he quits, or I don't know, or just contract expires and he leaves. I'm pretty sure it's not worth the money to him to look like shit. So And with this lack of build that they've given him, and just giving him build in recent time, I just don't believe that it's enough to really secure him a true fan base of people. You know, fans can hate somebody, okay? If you're booing the shit out of somebody, you like them, whether you want to admit it or not, or else you wouldn't boo them. You'd be silent, okay? Unless he can develop true reaction all the time, and he gets a credible reaction every time he goes out there, then everything they're doing is a waste of time. And if WWE doesn't push for that, then they're gonna have a huge problem. Now, he's been going out recently and cutting promos and been a little bit edgier in his promos. His matches are a little bit edgier. He's winning not in the cleanest ways. It doesn't like he's intentionally looking like to do it, but in a sense it is. He's just playing it off type thing, if you know what I mean. So I like the way they're doing it. I just hope that at the Royal Rumble he doesn't lose the belt. I'd like to see him be the champion going into Mania. I think that'd be great. Even if he lost it at Mania, it'd be okay, as long as he went into Mania as the champion, because he said he was going to be in the main event at WrestleMania. So hopefully he actually gets there, and the only way he's going to get there is if people actually get behind him. And I spoke about this in my last video. And for people that can't get into him, I don't blame you guys, but try to. Because if you don't, like I said before, we're just going to get the same old shit over and over and over again in a John Cena and a Randy Orton. Because more than likely, if nothing works with Daniel Bryan, everything seems sour and squished, and you know it's all done, God forbid at Royal Rumble he actually loses the belt. It would suck. But more than likely, Randy Orton is going to win the Royal Rumble, and if he wins, having him get the title against Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania would just suck, because I don't want to see Randy Orton go over a Daniel Bryan. I'd rather see somebody else win the Rumble as a face and go over Bryan that's new, that they can give a push, like a Sheamus or somebody. I think that would be good. I've said before that I think Sheamus deserves a shot. I think it would work. They could build it. If they just drop the title off of Bryan after 1 or 2 pay-per-views, it's not going to prove anything, okay? Holding it to the Rumble means nothing because he hasn't defended it at a pay-per-view yet. So the first pay-per-view he's going to defend it at, if he loses the belt, then it was all for nothing. I know the credibility is not there entirely for you people that don't know his indie career. That's why I'm not speaking about his indie career in this video, because to you people that's irrelevant. So just do yourselves a favor. Please just try to get into him. Just feel him out, you know what I'm saying? Give him time. Don't just say he sucks and he's this and he's that, okay? He's developing into his role. He's transitioning over right now. It's character development, and that's what people like. You people like characters from the majority of what I understand. I prefer the wrestling, but for the majority of WWE fans, they like to see the characters, and he's evolving a character right now. So hopefully, I hope that's enough to please you guys that maybe don't like Daniel Bryan that much, or you think he's corny. Okay, and I've said this before in previous videos, but not about Daniel Bryan. Do not use the stigma that he's a shrimp, okay? He's a real small guy, okay? For a guy like me who has to overcome odds all the time in life to be able to get things done and take care of things, you know, that get in my way, and be able to grasp hold of, you know, what I can and continue to move on, you know, and just continue to try to achieve and prosper in life. Okay, it's hard for me to do that. And I gave such a huge description there because there's things that I want, that I'm fighting for, that I don't have, you know, and I hope to one day have it, but it's a struggle. And for a guy like Daniel Bryan to win the belt, no matter how he won it, it's a struggle for him to hold it, because look at his size. He's an underdog. You see what I'm saying? So don't just hate on him because he's a shrimp. He's the underdog. He's the underdog champion that no one ever thought would be the champion. That is awesome, because he's proving everybody wrong right now. Every day he still has the belt. He's already defended it a couple of times. Granted, he hasn't won legitimately, but he's still the champ. So every day he actually has the belt, it means something. He said he was going to be champ. Not the way he said it was going to happen, but he's champ. And for those of you that don't like it, and you're against it, but you hate John Cena and Randy Orton, like I said, just stop, please, okay? Just because Daniel Bryan is developing character now, and he's not a big giant guy as WWE personifies your Randy Ortons and your John Cenas and your Triple H's to be, which they're really not all that big to begin with, okay? Just because he's a little shrimpy looking compared to them does not mean he cannot hold a World Heavyweight Championship or a WWE Championship. That's bullshit. That's basically saying that any guy that's not 6'4", 240 pounds, sorry, 6'4", 240 pounds or bigger, well, cannot be a champion in WWE. You might as well get rid of everybody, pretty much, with the exception of a couple of guys. that actually fit that description of a wrestler. So that stigmatism is retarded. Don't be haters of Daniel Bryan. Be a fan of him. Okay? Don't come on here and criticize Daniel Bryan, say that he sucks and this and that. If you're going to come on here and criticize, like I said in a previous video, criticize the WWE and the way they book him, the way they book everything else. They control everything. The wrestlers get paid to go out there and do what they do. And do what they do is what WWE tells them to do. So that's it, people. That's the end of the video. I'm going to stop it right there. So leave your comments and shit down below. Video response. You already know what it is, people. I'll hit you up with another video later on. Peace.